Here we are, another wonderful day, another wonderful work outfit. So, basically, just taking this opportunity. This is a big turbo car. It looks like it's run on PCM control boost. We got the vacuum lines running down through here, off of the wastegate. All right. Then they have the solenoid mounted over here underneath, which everything's kind of tucked if you take notice. All the wiring's run down underneath. It actually has one of the kinetic tuck harnesses on it. I think it's like a 50 trim. I'm not sure what the brand is. And it's got one of those nice clear covers on. Looks really good. Older Turbonetics wastegate, which, you know, like I said, I'm just checking this thing out. Doing a boost leak test, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to smoke the turbo system, all right? So air goes in there, goes down through, okay? So it pulls boost off of down here. Let's get a flashlight. I'm not sure how much of this is coming in on here. Okay, so if you look down here, you can see where the hose is running. Unless it's not shining in here, okay? So I'm feeding smoke from the machine down into there, okay? So that is basically the port where all of your compressed air is now pushed down through your pipe, over through your intercooler, back up into your throttle body. Now the blade on the throttle body's shut. So we should be able to put this smoke in there, and it'll get to a point where there's pressure once it fills that area up. And eventually, like if there's a leak anywhere, whether it's out of the throttle body blade, the blow-off valve, any of the seals, we will be able to see smoke come out. All right. So this is just an old smoke tester that I've had. I think I did a video on this before. It's pretty much self-contained. It takes air pressure to run it, which you can run off of a normal compressor, or you can run off of compressed air in this tank. All right. And it runs off of 12 volts, which you typically just hook to your battery. And then there's a switch that you use to turn this on. Okay. I already have everything hooked up. See, we have power. It tells us we have power. I don't know if you can hear it. Oh, it actually popped the cap right off of there. I'm probably going to have to hold this in. But I plugged this off with a cap. You can see we got smoke. So this is going to be fun. I got to figure out some way to get this thing to seal a little bit better, because it's not going to seal. See, I got smoke coming out around it up here. So I got to figure that out before I can get any further. This is kind of, how can you say it? That's kind of the fun part. You know, till you actually can get a point to where you're actually getting something tested where it's actually going to stay in. So I'm probably going to clean this off with some window cleaner, make sure I got a good clean surface. I'm thinking I might try to wrap this a little bit on this outer edge with some black electrical tape, and hopefully that gives it like a sponginess and it creates a seal. So I'm going to try that. You know, you can use this smoke tester to do all kinds of different things. You can smoke your intake. You can put a cylinder on top dead center. You can actually smoke a cylinder. You can see if you have a valve that's leaking, to see where your compression's going. Different things like that. You can smoke in through here to make sure stuff's flowing. Your evap system, back through here, it'll have a little green cap back there off of this line. And you can hook into that, and you can smoke the evap system to see if you're having like an evap leak, which is a lot of what this is for. Any of your vacuum leaks in any of your lines, you know, you can find cracks in hoses and different things like that. But what we're doing is we're using this for a boost leak, okay? I do have one of the standard ones right here that you could put onto a stock turbo, and you could pressurize it that way. So now that I'm looking at that, I think I have an idea. I have a 4-inch elbow over here that I can stick a 3-inch plug in and just clamp it on there. So that might work. All right, I'll show you what I come up with.
I used a 4 to 3 inch elbow. I put the clamp, put one of those plugs in there. I had to get a different size plug, so I got a bunch of different plugs. Just threw that on there. We have this pumping. Normally, if it stays down there or below that, that's when it's starting to build pressure. So bouncing between these two lines here that are on the left, that's pretty much where you want it to stay, because that's usually pretty good. But I mean, we're looking, we're waiting. It's filling that system up. Ooh. See a little bit there. Look at that. Right there, out of the turbo seal. How's that look? It's the first time I've seen one there. All I can do right there is try tightening that up, because I don't have an O-ring for that. Man, that sucks. It's coming out of there pretty good too. So picking it up. See it? Yep, you can see there. You can see it coming out around that bolt. Let's try to tighten this up quick before we get too much. These are usually 13s. Let's see if this is loose. Oh no. A little bit. I don't think that's enough to cause a problem though. All right, I got a little, I mean, you know, sometimes that might be all it takes. That one little turn. I'm gonna grab my short wrench and I'm gonna try to get down in there at that back bolt, try tightening that up once, and then we'll fire the smoke back up. Okay, so you can kind of see, even though we tightened that up, that's the only place I see any smoke coming is around it's on the brackets here through them bolt holes for that turbo inlet housing. That's the only thing I see leaking. Everything else seems to be all right. I can see some down underneath. It's actually spewing out of that back bolt, kind of just like this, and shooting straight down. I don't know, it could be, man, there's usually, these turbos usually have, okay, there's the plate, okay, and then it has like a lock bolt on it. I mean, that could be, like I said, that could be the O-ring on this housing, or depending on how these are made, typically these don't run into the housing, they just don't. It could be leaking out around that. I mean, I see there's a little bit of black in here. I mean, it's hard to say. Normally, you know, like I said, it is an O-ring in there, so it could have went bad. That's just nature of the beast there, I guess. It looks like it's a pretty easy fix. It's just not something that I'm gonna have. I'm not seeing anything anywhere else here. Let's open this up once. Okay, so that came right off. Oh, that's letting it. That released pressure, so we should start to see some smoke coming out over here. See, that's that silicone. These silicone hoses, they don't dry rot, but they'll tear up like that. There it comes.
All right, watching our drop. Try to set this down. Oh, it only runs for so long too. So, I mean, I don't see. Try to run this again. Make sure we're filling the whole system. So now we got some smoke starting to come out over here. It is just pouring out of that turbo. Yep. Right here, I mean, that thing's doing what it's supposed to do. I mean, if it's bouncing around, that means there's a leak and it's bouncing around. And we know we have this leak back here coming out of this turbo. Let's see if we can see it right there. Look at that. Look at that smoke just coming out of that thing. So that's not like a turbo rebuild. That's just the turbo housing O-ring. I would think maybe if you know what turbo it is, you could probably contact like AGP if they do it, or someone that, you know, does turbos, and they would know which one to show you. But I mean, that's what we found here so far. This here hose actually, it's actually split down here, right here. It must have split when I pushed it down over. So I'm going to be replacing that silicone hose with just a regular rubber vacuum hose that I have. Or, I don't know, maybe I'll put another silicone. Depends on what I have available. It's all just some of the stuff that's just normal that you run across. Different things like this. So, I mean, at least we know. Let's see if there's any smoke comes out of this thing. Look at that. I mean, it doesn't have a terrible smell. But you can see, we had her filled, man. It was coming out everywhere. So, but yeah. Boost leak found. Boost leak needs fixed.